Let us be lovers. We'll marry our fortunes together. I've got some real estate here in my bag. So we bought a pack of cigarettes and Mrs. Wagner's pies and walked off to look for America. Kathy, I said, as we boarded a Greyhound in Pittsburgh, Michigan seems like a dream to me now. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. I've come to look for America. Laughing on the bus, playing games with the faces. She said the man in the gabardine suit was a spy. I said, be careful. His bow tie is really a camera. Toss me a cigarette. I think there's one in my raincoat. We smoked the last one an hour ago. So I looked at the scenery, and she read her magazine, and the moon rose over an open field. Kathy, I'm lost, I said, though I knew she was sleeping. I'm empty and aching, and I don't know why. Counting the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike, they've all come to look for America. All come to look for America. All come to look for America. When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder, lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants lumber after safety. When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil into silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe, briefly. Our eyes, briefly, see with a hurtful clarity. Our memory, suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words, unsaid, promised walks, never taken. Great souls die, and our reality, bound to them, takes leave of us. Our souls, dependent upon their nurture, now shrink, wizened. Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the utterable ignorance of dark, cold caves. And when great souls die, after a period, peace blooms, slowly and always irregularly. Spaces fill with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Our senses, restored, never to be the same, whisper to us, they existed. They existed. We can be and be better, for they existed. That was When Great Trees Fall by Maya Angelou, followed, of course, preceded, of course, by Simon and Garfunkel, America. Today is Wednesday, August 26th, 2020. My name is Thomas Hunt. This is the Thomas Hunt Show on the World Crypto Network. This episode is about Jacob Blake. His name is Jacob Blake. This video is not suitable for young audiences. You've probably seen it before, but you might want to turn away. This happened just a few days ago. I waited to cover it. I don't like covering these things. They're horrible. They make me sad, but they keep happening. So I don't know what else to do about it except to talk about it and play the clip.
Wow.
Why the fuck y'all just shoot him? Why the fuck y'all just shoot that man? Why the fuck y'all just shoot that fucking man like that, bro? Why the fuck you just shoot him? You ain't have to fucking kill. He dead, bro. Why the fuck you shoot that? Why the fuck you shoot him that many times? Why the fuck y'all shoot him? Bro, why the fuck did y'all just shoot him? Why the fuck y'all just shoot him, bro? Why the fuck y'all just shoot him? Y'all bogus as fuck. That's why we don't fucking like the police. You fucking bogus, bitch. Why the fuck you shoot that man? This exactly why.
They shot him 7 times. In the back, at close range, with his kids in the car, with his hand on his t-shirt. He was trying to walk away. He wasn't a threat to the officers. He was walking away. You can hear the bullets individually and distinctively on the recording. It's a bit like the JFK audio, really. Bang, 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 bang. I think one bang would have done it. Maybe they have tasers or clubs or something. That might have worked. He had his hand on his t-shirt. He was grabbing him. But he shot him 7 times anyway. They say that Jacob Blake had just broken up a fight. He wasn't robbing a convenience store. He wasn't wearing a ski mask. He wasn't doing anything illegal. He was walking away, and they grabbed him, and then they shot him 7 times. I don't even know why the guns are out at this point, and it seems like the other officers could certainly do something about this. The one officer in the lead clearly has his gun out like he's hunting. He continues to hold on to the t-shirt after he shot him 7 times. What does he think's going to happen? You're holding onto the t-shirt. You're like 2 feet away from him. There's witnesses everywhere. His kids are in the back seat of this car. And they shot him 7 times. I agree with the man who made the video. Why the fuck did you shoot that man? This is why we don't like police. Why did you shoot him so much? Why do cops have guns? Less than 3 minutes passed between when Kenosha police arrived and when Jacob Blake was shot, according to the dispatch audio. Let's read through it. Oh, great. Random article loading. Okay. Sometime before 5 p.m., a neighbor sees Jacob Blake barbecuing outside his apartment at 2805 40th Street. Officers are sent to Blake's address for a complaint of family trouble. 5:11 p.m. A dispatcher notifies officers that a woman called police and said Blake isn't supposed to be there, and that he took the complainant's keys and is refusing to give them back. So it's a family trouble complaint. So as we've been discussing after the George Floyd shooting, or the George Floyd, they murdered him with his knee, suffocation. Everyone had been discussing the idea of having different kinds of officers for trouble. You have a family officers. They're probably counselors. Maybe they have clubs. They go out and they talk to families that have family trouble. You know, tasers, clubs, maybe even just words, right? You don't have to send the guys with the guns. If there's a bank robbery, You send the guys with the guns. If there's a shooting, you send the guys with the guns. If there's a gang war, you send the guys with the guns. There was family trouble in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and they sent the guys with the guns. 5:12, an officer tells the dispatcher he is close but has not yet arrived. 5:13, one of the officers asks dispatchers for a description of Blake. The dispatcher tells officers that Blake is now trying to leave. The woman who called them has become uncooperative, and the type of vehicle or state it's registered in are unknown. Still a domestic dispute. First officer replies that he has arrived. 5:14, a second officer arrives. 5:15, a third officer urgently radios dispatchers asking for more officers. The dispatcher sends 3 more squads. How bad are these people at their job? Conflict management. There's 3 of you. Solve the conflict. There was no weapons. Why do you need 3 more squads? How badly trained are these guys that they can't handle a simple conflict? Around this time, a bystander shoots a video that shows Blake and 2 officers scuffling on the ground on the passenger side of a small gray SUV. Less than 2 minutes have passed since the first officer arrived. A different video, this one shot by a neighbor in a second-story apartment across the street, shows this scene from the driver's side. 3 officers, 2 male and 1 female, have their guns drawn and are behind Blake as he walks from the sidewalk around the front of the SUV. 2 male officers follow Blake closely, aiming their guns at Blake as he opens the SUV driver's side door. As Blake attempts to enter the SUV, an officer grabs his shirt, then shoots him in the back at close range. 7 gunshots can be heard, followed by the car's horn as Blake slumps forward. A woman who followed them to the SUV screams. 5:15 p.m. An officer reports shots fired. Was it the other people? Did they have guns? Who brought the guns? Oh, the officers brought the guns. Okay. Another officer tells the dispatcher radio traffic should go to a restricted channel so the public cannot hear. The dispatcher asks if all of the police officers who brought the guns are okay. An officer at the scene tells dispatch, "We need rescue as soon as possible." The dispatcher tells officers that deputies are on their way and the state patrol is being notified. The Department of Justice will handle the investigation. Additional video shot by bystanders shows police officers working to save Blake's life after they shot him 7 fucking times as he lies on the ground in a pool of blood. He's loaded into an ambulance which is driven 8 blocks to Bradford High School. There, a Flight for Life helicopter awaits. 8:03 p.m. Kenosha police release a brief statement saying Blake, who they do not name, is in serious condition at Froedtert Hospital in Wauwatosa. The Department of Justice issues a news release saying the officers involved in the shooting have been placed on administrative leave, that's paid vacation, while the investigation is conducted. Let's skip ahead. I want to play the second video. Warning, this is graphic video, although it includes a secondary angle.
Get my son! Get my son! Get my son! Get my son! Come here, TJ! TJ! You are bogus!
So it's a little hard to see because it's shaky, but you can see that the officers are right here. They're struggling with Blake. This is the other side of the car. We can see from this distant shot, it's blocked by the car. This is the scuffle. This is what they shot him 7 times for. Really difficult to see what's happening. At this point, he's walking around to the other side of the car. You can see him here in the white t-shirt. This is a pretty low quality video. But yeah, it's about to happen again.
Mom! Mom! You have to get back!
Wow.
Get my son! Get my son! Come here, TJ! TJ! You are bogus!
So at this point, if the officers were attempting to restrain him, and if they had any martial arts training at all, they'd have no problem. There's 3 of them. There's 1 of him. He's not on any kind of crazy drugs. This isn't one of those, oh, he was hyped up on PCP and he was out of his mind and we tased him 3 times and we had to do it. You know, we just had to. Now, this is a domestic dispute. They called the guys with guns. And when looking for a solution, the guys with guns use their guns. This is Jacob Blake's father.
Our family is very diverse, and we don't represent just one thing. So if you all could give me 1 second, please. This is for my son, Jacob Blake. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out in support of my son with this senseless attempted murder that was committed on him. They shot my son 7 times. 7 times. Like he didn't matter. But my son matters. He's a human being, and he matters.
Very sad to watch. They shot his son 7 times. He's a human being, and he matters. A lawyer for the family has said that Jacob Blake is paralyzed, and protests have continued for the 3rd night. Doctors say it would take a miracle for him to walk again. The last steps, perhaps, that he'll take are the ones we saw in the video before he was grabbed by the t-shirt and shot 7 times. 7 times. This is Jacob Blake's sister.
I am my brother's keeper. And when you say the name Jacob Blake, make sure you say father, make sure you say cousin, make sure you say son, make sure you say uncle, but most importantly, make sure you say human. Human life. Let it marinate in your mouth, in your minds. A human life. Just like every single one of y'all and everywhere around the world. We're human. And his life matters. So many people have reached out to me telling me they're sorry that this happened to my family. Well, don't be sorry, because this has been happening to my family for a long time. Longer than I can account for. It happened to Emmett Till. Emmett Till is my family. Philando, Mike Brown, Sandra, This has been happening to my family. And I've shared tears for every single one of these people that it's happened to. This is nothing new. I'm not sad. I'm not sorry. I'm angry. And I'm tired. I haven't cried one time. I stopped crying years ago. I am numb. I have been watching police murder people that look like me for years. I'm also a Black history minor. So not only have I been watching it in the 30 years that I've been on this planet, but I've been watching it for years before we were even alive. I'm not sad. I don't want your pity. I want change.
Thank you. You sense the
A powerful statement by Jacob Blake's sister, reminding us that he was a family man, a father, a cousin, and most importantly, a human. I completely agree with her that it's been not only our lifetimes, but many lifetimes before this that this has been going on. And I don't know why it's not stopping, and I don't know why there's not legislation, and I don't know why they're not doing anything. And it's ridiculous how many there are now, and that there's a line of them. I don't even remember them all. They just keep coming, and nothing happens. I don't know why. It's getting worse in Wisconsin. 2 dead and 1 wounded in Kenosha shootings during Jacob Blake protests. It's difficult to understand what's been happening. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't know the actual situation on the ground. The details that I can gather so far is that a group of armed men were, quote unquote, protecting a gas station, and that these armed men engaged with the police or perhaps engaged with the protesters. I don't know if the protesters were armed. I don't know if these armed men were part of the protest or just protecting their business, or if they shot at the police. But whatever happened, 2 dead and 1 wounded as this continues to compound. I think the quote you're looking for here is, "An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind." But we haven't even had any laws passed. We haven't had anything changed. So this story is still developing. It's still happening. Both the shootings today, the shootings a few days ago, and the protest that will undoubtedly continue tonight. Mads at Maddie Dottie makes a great point here. Drew Hernandez says, BLM rioters have completely torched this local small business building in Wisconsin. And Mads says, yeah, I live right down the street from this place. Not a small business. That building has been vacant since 2017. Start caring more about lives than broken windows and concrete. Melissa Ryan writes, I can't stop thinking about how Trump gave the couple who terrorized protesters a platform on national television. And last night, protesters were shot and killed in Kenosha. Everyone is worried about violence and terror post-election, but it's already happening. And finally, we have a statement from LeBron James, probably the greatest basketball player of our times, and seems like a heck of a good human being. He really has the emotions here, and he really makes a powerful statement. He doesn't have to. He's just a basketball player, but he's connected to this, and he feels it.
If you're sitting here telling me that there was no way to subdue that gentleman, or detain him, or to just, before the firing of guns, then you sitting here, you lying to not only me, you lying to every African American, every Black person in the community, because we see it over and over and over. There was multiple, if you watch the video, there was multiple moments where if they wanted to, they could have could have tackled him. They could have grabbed him. You know, they could have done that. And why does it always have to get to a point where we see the guns firing? I know people get tired of hearing me say it, but we are scared as Black people in America. Black men, Black women, Black kids, we are terrified because you don't know. You have no idea. You have no idea how that cop that day left the house. You don't know if he woke up on the good side of the bed. You don't know if he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You don't know if he had an argument at home with a significant other. You know, if one of his kids said something crazy to him and he left the house steaming. Or maybe he just left the house saying that today is going to be the end for one of these Black people. That's what it feels like. Like we want change. As a community, we really want change. And it doesn't not only just end in November, but it starts there. It starts there. And, but we got to continue to still keep our foot on the pedal then. Even if we get what we want, we still need more. What are we getting? Because right now, of what's going on is just not okay.
Powerful speech by LeBron James. Professional basketball player LeBron James. And now, one more time, I want to play the video.
Wow. Why the fuck y'all just shoot him? Why the fuck y'all just shoot that man?
Here are a few of the people that we've lost. Ahmaud Arbery, Michael Brown, Terrence Crutcher, Eric Garner, Oscar Grant, Freddie Gray, Botham Jean, Atiana Jefferson, Betty Jones, Trayvon Martin, Laquan McDonald, Tamir Rice, Breonna Taylor, Dominic White, George Floyd, and his name is Jacob Blake. He's paralyzed and fighting for his life. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun is in flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men, near death, who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.